Hi, just a quick update video for reasons I'm going to get into shortly, but first I wanted to say thank you everyone who has subscribed. There are now over 500 of you, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for your lovely comments. I read them all, even if I don't write back to each one. It's still early days for this channel, but thank you for taking the time to watch and engage with the content I'm making here, because it shows me that there is an audience for this stuff. Now, some people might know that I used to be a stand-up comedian many years ago now, and this really brings back those open mic days. For a comic, it easily takes over 100 gigs to start finding your voice on stage, your point of view and persona. And I very much feel like that about this channel. I'm following my interests, and I hope that they also appeal to you. But I'm still settling into what this channel might yet become. So yes, thank you for coming along for the ride. Secondly, there's not going to be a proper video this next week or two, as I'm actually working on a talk for the A-Type I 2020 conference. A-Type I is the International Typographic Association, except in French, and this year they're actually doing a conference virtually, and my talk is going to be on the history of typographic branding of comedy clubs. Pretty niche topic, but you know, it's 2020. Live comedy is kind of having an existential crisis under the current circumstances. The comedy club, as we know it, may change drastically, and I feel like it's a fitting time to reflect on some of the visual history of comedy that has been pretty overlooked. So that will be available after the conference, sometime in early November on the A-Type I YouTube channel, but also around that time I'll be putting a companion piece up here on my channel about some of the tropes of comedy branding around icons and symbols, and also a bit of a dive into my process on developing a brand for Angel Comedy Club here in London, which grew from a comedy night that Barry Ferns and I started together way back in the day. Lastly, updates might be a little sporadic over the next few months since I'm leaving London. I'm moving to Sweden in about a month, and that will take a bit of focus. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to set up for making videos once we get there. It may end up looking a bit different for a while, but that would be the reason why, and you probably can see some of the boxes behind me at the moment. I'm really sad to be leaving London, and 2020 is definitely not the year for an international move. I had planned all of these videos to make about British design that I had hoped to get done before leaving, which I'll just have to get around to at some point down the line. I really want to talk about Henry Hoover. I'd love to do a video on the TfL roundel. Alistair Hall has just published a book about London street signs, which I've just ordered and I would love to review. One thing I'm still trying to figure out with this channel is how to manage my ambition. I tend to start with a fairly simple idea, and then when I start digging into it, it just starts expanding and expanding. For example, my brother suggested I talk about the awful seatback safety cards of Ryanair because it's just the perfect thing to roast, right? The illustration is just so potato quality. And it led me down this crazy rabbit hole on airline safety cards and vintage designs from the 60s, and suddenly a 5-minute reaction video seems like a wasted opportunity when there's so much fascinating stuff to talk about there. But anyway, if anyone has any tips on how to balance this instinct for diving deep with the kind of regular output that the YouTube algorithm so craves, let me know in the comments. Please also let me know if any of the topics I mentioned sound particularly intriguing to you. That, and there's so many other video ideas on my list, but hey, I should stop procrastinating, get my slides finished for this talk, and keep packing. Thanks again for 500 subs, and thank you so much for watching. Hopefully there'll be some more content very soon.